9-year-old is allowed to lock her door. That felt like clickbait, but it's true. And one of the reasons I'm comfortable with it is because I can easily get into that door even if it is locked. However, if it is locked, I leave it locked unless it's urgent. If it's not urgent, I just use our special knock pattern, and then she knows it's me and she'll let me in herself. She's got rules for locking her door, like she has to tell me first and let me in if I need her. But why would a 9-year-old ever need to lock her door? That's a great question, and the answer is privacy. She's got 2 little sisters, and sometimes she wants to be able to do big kid stuff like build a Lego set or read or write, and she doesn't want to be bothered, and I think that's okay. We have great communication and I trust her, so it's no problem for me. My little ones get privacy too. My thought is if you're old enough to ask to be alone, you deserve the space to be alone. But the little ones can't lock the door. When they're little, they have more of a supervised privacy, and that turns into a more independent privacy. I remember when I was a teen, my parents were like, "What do you need privacy for?" And they didn't trust me, so they cemented my window shut and took my door. Despite their efforts, I continued to do whatever I wanted without their knowledge. As they became more strict, I became more sneaky. They weren't trying to parent, they were trying to control. So I'm teaching my kids independence and giving them room to be themselves, and together we're building a foundation of communication and mutual respect. I believe if I do a good job, then I'll always be able to trust them. I think this is incredibly important, because someday before they're grown up, the voice in their head will become louder than mine, and they're going to do what they want. And I want them to want to do good and feel safe coming to me when they make mistakes. Let's dive a little deeper. That video got over 15 million views on TikTok, which is a number I just can't comprehend. The comments were all over the place. Some people thought it was awesome, and some people think I am naive and my children are tricking me. How could I ever let a child lock a door? But yeah, they can lock their door. It's really not a big deal to me, and there's a few reasons why. Like, number one, it's an easy door to unlock. I just put my fingernail and I just, like, you know what I mean? It's not actually locked. It's locked from little siblings. It's not locked for me. As the parent, I can get in. It's not like a safety thing is what I'm saying. There are some boundaries when it comes to locking a door, like let me know that you're gonna lock it, because if you're locking the door because you're having a bad day, things are going wrong, we should probably talk about it. But typically the door only gets locked when my oldest kiddo wants some space from her younger siblings. Now the door can't get locked at night for obvious safety reasons, but honestly we've never run into that issue. The doors don't get locked that often. The whole reason I made the video was just to say that children deserve privacy. If they can ask to be alone, they deserve to be alone. And even when my kiddo has her door locked, like we have our private Discord channel, like we're chatting, we're texting, I'll check in on her. She's not staying in there locking herself away for hours. It's really just like, I need a break from all of this. And honestly, I get it, because sometimes I need a break from all of this. But a trend I noticed was a lot of folks saying, what do kids need privacy for? What are they even doing when they're alone? But I think it's important to note that just because a kid wants privacy, they want to shut their door, that doesn't mean they're up to no good. I think a lot of times as parents, we end up projecting things that we did or we're afraid that they're gonna do onto them when they've given us no reason to believe they're up to that. Like, sure, a kid might lock a door because they want to do things they're not supposed to do, but I would argue that if a kid wants to do something, they're gonna do it anyway. Maybe a locked door means that a kid is up to no good, they're doing bad things, but also if they want to do bad things, they're gonna find a way to do it, locked door or not. And sure, micromanaging and helicoptering gives us a sense of control, but the reality is if our kids want to hide something from us, they're gonna find a way to do it. My goal is to give them a reason to communicate, give them a reason to trust me so that they don't feel like they have to hide things from me. Which means letting them know it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to communicate when they do make mistakes. They're still going to be safe at home if they've messed up. Alone time isn't inherently a bad time. It doesn't mean they're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean something is wrong. It just means they want to be alone. As an adult who really values my alone time and privacy, I'm not doing anything wrong with it. I'm watching trashy TV and journaling. But I think with some parenting topics like privacy, it's important to interface with why we have negative feelings surrounding it. My parents didn't trust me from the beginning, and so in turn I didn't trust them. I felt like I needed to hide things from them. I felt like I couldn't come to them about my problems and issues, and so I internalized it all, and it was a really hard time in my life. Growing up was hard for me. But if I were to take what my parents put me through and put that on my kids because I felt like, well, I did it, so why wouldn't they do it? I'm not being fair to them. They're growing up in a totally different situation with totally different parents, so they have have no reason to do the things that I was doing, so I trust them from the beginning. I am giving them that foundation of support and trust. And they might break that trust someday. They probably will. As they get older, my voice inside their head will get quieter and they're going to make their own decisions, and with that comes making mistakes. But if they can trust me with their mistakes now, I hope they can trust me with them later. Now, do I think that my way of handling things is the best way? Absolutely not. But the way I was taught to handle things, the way my parents handled things, was definitely not the best way. I wouldn't even say it was a good way. I just think we all have a right to privacy. There's not an age limit on it. And I'm not saying it'll work for everybody, but it works for us. Anyway, thanks for being here. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell. You know the drill. Okay, bye.